dealing with the condition itself is not enough.
Dear Mr. Massa, I'm just trying to mind my own business. What's the matter? It's just another day, another black king captured. I'm about to lose my brain, stuck inside this ghetto rapture. I got a lot of smoke. If you want it, you can have it. They want a hat trick, but this is black girl magic. Ain't talking about the kind that'll make you disappear, but I'm talking about the power of the melanin within. Ain't looking for trouble, but I'ma say this one time. I put two dukes up if you try to touch mine. We still want justice for Samir and Trayvon. You say you don't see color, but racism ain't blind. They targeting little kids whose skin look just like mine. So I'm paranoid, it's a war zone outside. And I'm a black queen, so if you ask me to step out of my car, you gon' have to snatch me. Cause I ain't going no damn well. Had to spend my whole life living unfair. Ancestors got my back and they right here. You can never understand, it's a nightmare. Living in my black shoes by the black rules. You can keep your handshake, I don't dap coons. The white man to go nuts if he cash you. But you all on his side like a damn fool. Make it make sense.
We are oppressed.
Queen.
We are exploited. We are downtrodden.
Make it make
We are
sense.
denied not only civil rights, but even human rights.
Ahmadiyyah.
So the only way we're going to get some of this
Ahmadiyyah.
oppression and exploitation
Queen.
away from us or aside from us is come together
Queen.
against the common enemy. Who taught you to hate the texture of your
Ahmadiyyah.
hair? Who taught you to hate the color of your skin?
Ahmadiyyah.
Parents, pay attention to the books, the school system, even to your little children. Lies mixed with wisdom. His skin too bright, so he was blind to the prison. My skin just right, so I collide with division. You trying to pray to God, but we tired of religion. No savior saving, we got to save our savings. We used to pay miss, how we gon' make the slave rich? But who's to blame, and tell me why you complaining? We need a team effort just to rule the nation. Like a bad relationship, missing communication. We missing moderation. They're trying to get a poison to my population. No reparations. I'm getting tired of Satan.
We are oppressed.
I'm
Queen.
getting tired of waiting.
We are downtrodden.
Queen.
We are denied not only
Every time open a sex gate, my kick, the words, my faith, can't even only be my say. It's like an earthquake, I'm calling you out. Create a constant, just get it from the back. Such an awesome place, just a more.
Hello, Grand Rising, everyone. Thanks for tuning back in once again to the original Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur show. I'm your host, Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur, and this is your morning wake-up call. So as you're coming in, please feel free to go ahead and subscribe to the channel. If you haven't done so already, be sure to click that notification bell and click the word all so you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. Okay, don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Dr_A_Shakur, TikTok at Dr. A Shakur, and Twitter at DGoddess27. Also, and as per usual, if you don't like what the Queen is cooking, you already know what to do. Okay, and so we're going to be live right after this on the same channel. So I'm dropping the link in the chat, okay? Because we got to talk about Kabami, all right, and Trump. So with that all being said, let's get into it. Hello, Anita Harrell, G from the land. All right, Desmond is here. Greta Lee, Claudette. All right, Nessie X is in the house. Precious. Sandra is here. Buckhurst DC, my aunt Egypt. RD is in the house. Deronda, about damn time. Okay, let's get into it. Locked Vegan. Luna is here. Lamar, James Allen, Dervis. All right. Shout out to everybody in the chat and everyone tuned into the Queen. Okay, and a big shout out to my moderators putting in work. I see you, Miss J. Lillian X in the house. That crazy beach Aries. Okay, Cookie. So let's get into it. Nita's in Mike's world. Okay, so let's talk about it, you guys. So I'm sure you've all heard by now that Diddy's sons tried to jump Ray J. Okay, so let's talk about it because this is all nefarious. Now, I got this news yesterday, but I was not about to do another live. Sorry, I was tired. Okay, Diddy's sons were ready to fight Ray J. Chris Brown swoops in to stop it. So Diddy's sons were about to get ready to get into a fight with Ray J in an all-out fist fight at a recent Halloween party, but their plans were put on pause thanks to an unexpected hero.
Okay, so sources tell TMZ that the rap mogul's three sons, Christian, Quincy, and Justin, got into a heated face-off with Ray J outside influencer Toure Electra's unruly agency Halloween bash in Los Angeles over the weekend. Let me just show you all this picture. I'm sorry. They were really gonna jump Ray J? Make it all make sense. Look at them. These are definitely Diddy's sons, okay? Diddy loves to fight, and I guess they do too. So they say, we're told that when the party wrapped in the early hours, Ray J made his way to the parking lot along with his crew, Amber Rose and manager David Weintraub. Now, but he was confronted by Diddy's three sons. You know, I guess they didn't like the word salad that Ray J was spewing when he was on News Nation, okay, with Chris Cuomo. But he really wasn't saying anything much, as far as I'm concerned. Now, sources say that the siblings surrounded the singer as they were upset about some of the public comments Ray J has made about the Bad Boy Records founder amid his legal woes. They say, we're told things got heated up between the men with the group getting in each other's faces and chest bumping one another. Sources claim both Justin and Christian made it clear they wanted to fight. No, they didn't. I'm sorry. Say what? Let me tell y'all something. You know what my grandmother used to say about people who pull these sorts of stunts? She would say that one was scared and the other was glad of it. Now, if anybody really wanted to fight, they'd have thrown them paws, okay? I'm not going to chest bump you. That's what I'm not going to do. All right? At the end of the day, please make it all make sense, okay? They didn't want any smoke for real. They were just putting on is all I'm thinking. Okay, because you really want to fight, you're not chest pumping. Okay, you're throwing blows. That's how it goes. Now, the incident didn't escalate further. However, Chris Brown, who witnessed everything going on from his car, rushed out and diffused the situation with Ray J's manager, David, by pulling Justin and Christian away. We're told that others also stepped in to mend the situation, resulting in no injuries. This is all so sad and ridiculous. Please pay attention. I absolutely cannot with them, okay? I absolutely cannot. Now, if they're going to get mad and want to fight people over what they're saying about Diddy, they might as well get ready to fight everybody, okay? Please pay attention. Chest bumping. I'm sorry, I haven't done that since like 7th grade, okay? And these are grown men. Real men, if they want to fight, they're just going to start swinging. That's how that goes. So this wasn't the first time Diddy's sons confronted Ray J either. As we're told, the kids approached him several times prior to discuss the singer's comments. We're told Christian, Quincy, and Justin tried fighting Ray J on 3 separate occasions in different settings, but they never did. So you mean to tell me they ran up on Ray J, all 3 of them, one Ray J, who's not that tall, by the way. So they ran up on him on 3 different occasions. Yeah, they don't want to fight. They're just putting on a front. That's all that is. Now, we're told that Ray J has always been open to having a conversation with Diddy's sons, though. He was willing to fight the trio after they made disrespectful comments towards him. Sources say Ray J still considers Diddy and his children family, so he refused to let himself get punked up by little kids. We've reached out for Diddy's sons. We've reached out to reps for Diddy's sons, Ray J and Chris Brown, for comments. So far, no word back. Well, there's nothing to say. There is nothing to say. They really didn't want any smoke. Do y'all think they really wanted to fight? Please, okay? This is all silly. But anyway, Hazel E had some things to say about it. So I'm going to go to that video. And then also Wack 100. Okay, so likes up, everyone. Please like and share. Thank you in advance.
At the end of the party, when we were trying to exit the building, actually, I honestly just saw like Christian, Justin, Quincy kind of start circling Ray a little bit. Words were exchanged. Things started getting heated as we went into the parking garage. You know, I feel like chests were being bumped. Ray had a backpack, and from the last situation we were outside with the zoo stuff, he went around and tried to go grab his backpack, and he had this satchel on. So I'm like, does he have a blower in there? Like, I don't want it to really like get to this level. So out of nowhere, Chris Brown hops out the car like a freaking leprechaun out of the magically delicious sky. And like, honestly, he started breaking it up. I tried to talk to Quincy, Christian, get their stance on it and let them know that this wasn't the time and the place. I understand emotions are high, and I understand what they're going through, but for the betterment, everybody get in a better space, I pray that all parties can resolve things equally. You know, and,
so from what you've seen, did things ever exactly get physical, or was it just words exchanged? Was there any, fist thrown or?
It definitely was like a chest bump, push back, pull up the pants kind of vibe. But the way Chris came out and just like, I mean, I swear he took Justin and Christian at the same time and just got both of them. I grabbed Quincy. The other security start, his manager, David, their security, they grabbed Ray. So it was like, before actually like things all the way ensued, we had a couple angels by our side.
So do you think that had Chris Brown not been there, that the situation could have gotten, worse or gone?
Absolutely.
You were worried about, shots being fired.
Yes, absolutely. I feel like if Chris wasn't like the bigger voice of reason in that moment, I don't think anything that any of us were saying would have toned the situation down. So honestly, Chris really did help the situation. I don't know when Chris became the big homie. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
after, we're just trying to get Ray calmed down, because at this point he feels like he got pressed by the Combs kids, and he's like, a grown man, OG from LA. He feels like they in his city. You know what I'm saying? So his emotions were definitely high, running rampant. We try to get him in the sprinter. David, Amber, and I try to like continue to press him down, because where he was at, it still probably would have kept going had
David being Ray J's manager and Amber Rose.
Yeah, David Weintraub, that's Ray J's manager, Amber Rose. We try to grab him in our sprinter, and try to get him up out of there, because where he was going in his mind, it wasn't gonna like be a good night.
So have you talked to Ray J since? How's Ray J feeling about the situation now? Are you able to speak on it?
Yeah, I definitely talked to him, and he definitely feels like they was out of pocket, and things got to be addressed.
2, 3, what?
I don't know, like 8.
Oh, so it was them at 8, and they tried to rush you for real.
Yeah, but don't put this up, blood.
Nah, it's going out.
Nah, blood.
It's just going out, dog. Like, fuck them niggas now. So my question to you is, can I put the other stuff out that we've been knowing about?
Nah, they too young. Like, it's like that. Like, I moved away from it. Like,
huh?
I tried to talk some sense into like what happened, but I just, I'm saying, luckily the homie Chris is there.
What? Wait, what Chris?
Chris Brown, bro. But Wack, don't put this shit up online. Bro.
Nah, it's this. Oh, fuck them niggas.
Nah, but still, don't.
It's going up. It's already online. It's online that the niggas tried to rush you, and you ain't told me shit. Fuck you, it's everywhere, nigga. It's everywhere that the niggas tried to rush you. They ain't say they put their hands on you. I just said the little homie gonna squabble up. I thought it was just one. Now you telling me them and 8 niggas, so it's on.
Yeah, but it don't need to be like that.
Nah, that's what it's gonna be. That's what it's gonna be. All right, so I'm gonna call you when I get back tomorrow. I'm gonna pull up on you. All right. They tried to get the little homie.
Yeah, but Wack, they hot as fire grease right now. Leave them niggas alone.
Man, I don't give a fuck how hot they is.
They hot. They hot.
Nigga, if we run into you, nigga, if we run into you, act like it's 1995.
Yeah. They hot though.
Did y'all see that drip? This shit is really crazy. All right, I'm gonna just unveil the truth. I cannot eat nothing. I can't eat nothing. Everything I eat that got a flavor to it, this will happen. Shit is fucked up. And I'm mad, and I don't want to fully have to change my diet. So if y'all got some, look at the drip. If y'all got some advice, nutrition, I need help.
What else he eating? Hot peppers, jalapenos. Okay, at the end of the day, Wack 100 is just a little too old to be trying to fight, okay, for one, and let alone fighting those kids, okay? This is all so crazy. King Kong says, I ain't no thug, y'all. I'm actually a fragile feminine kind of guy. Yeah, okay, that's not the real King Kong. Sit down somewhere. Okay, James Allen said Quincy is really corny. Yeah, but he's easy on the eyes. He's easy on the eyes, though. Okay, so with that all being said, you all heard this. You don't really want to fight, and then y'all confront him 3 times, and this is all you do is pump your chest against each other. Please make it all make sense. Christopher said Wack is a nutcase. Okay, that's why his name is Wack. And then he brought it back to 1995, says Pamela. Exactly. What does that mean? When I see you or when you see them, act like it's 1995. What happened in 1995? Stacey said Quincy is fine. He sure is. And he looks like a young Albie Shore. Okay, no doubt. Lillian said, yeah, he's a looker, looking like both his parents. Okay. Yeah, King Combs said, me and Quincy kissing right now. Okay, King Combs, if you're trolling, you're going to be out of here in a minute. Okay, so anyway, with that all being said, I find it all interesting. Okay, neither of those people that were involved in that fake altercation are gangsters. None of them, not Ray J, not Christian, not Justin, and not Quincy. None of them are gangsters. And here's the thing. What in the world was Hazel E talking about? She thought guns were going to be fired. Girl, who's going to fire a gun? Which of them is even carrying one? Okay, Ray J may have had one in his backpack, but still, Ray J's no thug. Okay, none of them are really badasses, and none of them are really about that life. If they were, they would have fought a long time ago. You wouldn't have to run up to somebody 3 times pumping chest. Okay, bumping your chest. That's right. DJ Big Six said clout chasers. Okay, because first of all, if you get up close enough in my face that your chest is touching mine, honey, I'm gonna swing. You can catch a boat real quick. That's what that's gonna be. So that's how you know they didn't want any smoke. Okay, please pay attention. Claudette said, wouldn't throw lettuce at a rabbit. Okay, please. Absolutely would not. Now let's talk about Diddy. Okay, because Precious Muir came out and said that Diddy. She talked about those hidden cameras that Diddy had that we already know about. But here's what she had to say. Sean Diddy Combs is allegedly hid secret cameras in bedrooms of his home while hosting wild bashes. Okay, so a former model who allegedly attended several of Sean Diddy Combs' wild house parties over the years claims that she saw cameras in the bedrooms of the disgraced rapper's home. They always have to throw that in. Please pay attention. They always describe him as the disgraced rapper or the disgraced music mogul. Okay, Combs' reps, however, have denied the claim. Precious Muir, who also worked as a Playboy bunny at several Playboy Mansion events hosted by Hugh Hefner, discussed Diddy's alleged bedroom recording devices in an interview with The Mirror. She says, I know a property of this value of Playboy Mansion and of Diddy's mansion in the Hamptons. They're extremely extravagant. They're worth millions. Okay, so you would expect security cameras in certain parts of the house because you want to make sure your stuff is safe. Your property is safe. Nothing goes missing and that everyone's good. However, Muir recalled taking note of how strange it was to find that there were allegedly cameras in the music mogul's bed chambers. She said, but in the bedrooms? Why are cameras in the bedrooms? I have no idea, she says. Well, question is, why was she in the bedroom? Okay. So Diddy's attorneys denied Muir's claim, telling Page 6 in a statement Tuesday, this is a false story. And so then, while Muir didn't share any further details about Diddy's alleged bedroom cameras, she did recall almost hooking up with a famous athlete in front of alleged cameras in the Playboy Mansion. It says, so we're kissing and cuddling and stuff, and we had locked the door. So someone had come up to the door and started banging on the door, as she recalls. Okay, and then she says, and for some reason, I had sobered up. Whatever alcohol was in my system, it was just completely gone. And I was just like, oh my God, what are we doing? You're a famous athlete. I'm a new model, and we're going to be intimate in a room where there's cameras. I just said, the vibe is gone. I'm sorry, she sounds like she's clout chasing, but let's continue. Muir alleged that the person who knocked on the door saved her life because they stopped her and the athlete from ending up on some random tape somewhere. I could have had a video somewhere floating around of me being intimate with this basketball player, and I'd have no control over that. Now, the late Playboy founder's widow, Crystal Hefner, previously shared that Hugh had little spy holes at the foot of his bed that he used to film A-listers having sex. So he was doing the same thing as Diddy. Nobody ever called him out on it, okay? And he also liked the younger ones too, just like Diddy. Now, allegedly. Now, Muir's claims came amid a recent wave of sexual assault accusations pegged against the I'll Be Missing You artist. Texas-based attorney Tony Busby has filed a number of lawsuits on behalf of several victims accusing Combs of egregious sex crimes, with one plaintiff claiming that he was just 10 years old at the time of the alleged assault. Now, Combs has continued to deny the allegations, telling Page Six in the most recent statement via his reps. They say Mr. Combs and his legal team have full confidence in the facts and integrity of the judicial process. In court, the truth will prevail that Mr. Combs never sexually assaulted or trafficked anyone, man, woman, adult, or minor. We've heard this all before. Now, Diddy's downfall began in November of 2023. We already know how that went. Okay, so, this person, Precious, she's come out. This is like the second story she's come out with. Now, I want you all to pay attention because a lot of these people coming out saying stuff about Diddy are clout chasing. And I'm not talking about the victims. I'm talking about other people who are just coming out saying stuff just to be saying it. Okay, at the end of the day, it's all a clout chase. Please pay attention. Okay, please pay attention. Now, with that all being said, it has come to my attention that Jonathan Hay, the former publicist of Rihanna, whom I interviewed on the show back in August, claims that Adele is on those freak off tapes of Diddy's. Okay, he says Adele. Okay, and I find it all interesting. And he also implies that he used to have something going with Adele, okay, before she started dating Rich Paul. So let's get into it. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Now, before I show the footage, I'm going to have a word from my sponsors.
Do not buy 12 Tribes on Earth hair growth oil and hair magic elixir unless you want super healthy, gorgeous hair that grows. They have a whole line of amazing hair growth products, including hair growth leave-in conditioner spray, hair growth shampoo, hair growth spray, and hair growth butter. I'm starting to sense a theme here. They include quality natural ingredients. They smell amazing, and you can see the results for yourself. So if you're looking for healthy hair growth for your natural or relaxed hair, try 12 Tribes on Earth today.
Okay, so that all being said, don't forget you can purchase your 12 Tribes hair oil at Etsy.com. Just look for Lisa Crafts, and you can also find it at Walmart.com. Okay, and so likes up, everyone. Please get the likes up. Thank you in advance.
Adele, who was friends with Diddy, who's with LeBron James's manager, Rich Paul, who are all connected to CJ Wallace and the notorious Big Estate. All those people are complicit. And Rich Paul and Adele are on the tapes, the Diddy tapes that the FBI have seized. So let's see if we see these tapes and Adele is identified. But I can tell you one thing. Adele, LeBron James, and Rich Paul are all freaking out and shitting bricks because they're on the tapes. I need to address the situation between Adele and I. Over the last few years, her fans have hit me up asking about our quote-unquote relationship because they saw in the news that Adele and I were together. And then after they read about Adele and I together, she immediately hooks up with Rich Paul. Now, let me just say this. I can't stand Adele. I can't stand Rich Paul. Rich Paul represents LeBron James. Adele, Rich Paul, and LeBron James were all friends with Diddy. They were all at Diddy's parties. Adele, Rich Paul, LeBron James all participated in the freak-offs. She told me that her and Diddy used to smash, and she would tell me things about how Diddy used to like to watch her with other men that she was cheating on with her husband, Simon. Let me tell you this. Adele is not a good person. Like, Adele has got the public fooled. Adele is somebody at the Diddy parties with her fiance, Rich Paul, LeBron James's manager. I don't mess with Adele because of who she is and who she is as a person and how she got down and the fact that she was such a weird freak and the fact that she is a addict. Yes, Adele is an addict. She was at the Diddy parties. She had sex with Diddy and she was around Diddy with Rich Paul and LeBron James. I got to just get this off my chest because I'm tired of holding it in.
So you all heard that he called Adele a freak. Okay, and said all this stuff. Okay, I'm sorry. And Justin Tispe said, didn't he date her? Yes, he did. That's why I'm like, he's really going in. Okay, clearly it didn't turn out good. So with that all being said, he's alleging that Adele's on the freak off tapes. Now, mind you, I never knew anything about Adele messing around with Diddy. How about you all? Okay, I never knew anything about Adele messing around with Diddy, so that was news to me. Now, as I said, he's alleging that Adele's on the freak off tapes. Maybe she is. There's likely a lot of celebs that are on there, and maybe we'll find out who some of them are. Maybe we won't. I don't know. That all remains to be seen. Okay, but here's what I want to say about Diddy. Let's talk about it because Diddy was behind the social engineering of hip hop. Okay, now when you think back to when hip hop first started, specifically when we're talking about the 80s, to mid 90s, okay, there was a lot of positivity in rap. It was about Black excellence. People were saying positive things. Then all of a sudden, everybody starts talking about killing and gangbanging and all of that stuff. So with that all being said, you all remember that letter. Rashid said, blink twice if you're sick of their mind control. Absolutely, beloved. Okay. Now, so with that all been said, you all remember that letter that Crazy Bone read, right? About the hip hop agenda and how they wanted to change hip hop. We're going to get into that. But here's the thing. Diddy was the main person who brought the zestiness to hip hop. Okay. Prior to Diddy doing all of the zesty things, there was no dudes out there wearing dresses. Now you have dudes in hip hop wearing dresses, makeup, doing all kinds of zesty things. And at the end of the day, that was Diddy's agenda. Okay. I think that's what Diddy was told to do. Because for one, there was never such things going on, like I said. And now, mind you, I think that's also a reason why Diddy likes to act like he's so tough. You see, men who are on the down low, they always try to act like they have so much bravado, like they're so big and bad and so gangster, to cover up the zestiness within. Please pay attention. Now, here's what they said about Diddy in an article. They said no hip-hop luminary has worked harder than Sean P. Diddy Combs, the wildly successful rapper, producer, fashion mogul, and CEO of Bad Boy Records, to cultivate a gangsta image. So much so that he's blurred the lines between playing the bad boy and really being one. Combs may have grown up in middle class in Mount Vernon, New York, and even have attended Howard University for a while, but he's proven that he can gangbang with the worst. Okay, cops charged him with possession of a deadly weapon in 1995. Now, speaking of 1995, is that why Wack 100 said act like it's 1995? Because that's when Diddy got one of his first charges? I don't know. But in 1999, he faced charges for assault on a rival record executive. Most notoriously, police charged him that year with firing a gun in a nightclub in response to an assault, injuring 3 bystanders, and fleeing the scene with his entourage, including his then-girlfriend, Jennifer Lopez. Combs got off, but his younger rapper protege, Shine, went to prison. Now, Combs and his crew are far from alone among rappers in keeping up the connection between rap and a rap sheet. Okay. Several prominent rappers, including superstar Tupac Shakur, have gone down in a hail of bullets, with other rappers often suspected in the shootings. Death Row Records producer Marion Suge Knight just finished a 5-year prison sentence for assault and federal weapons violations. Current Rage 50 Cent flaunts his bullet scars in photos. Cops recently arrested him for hiding assault weapons in his car. Okay, so now mind you, this is an old article, but I wanted to read that to you because, yeah, it goes to show how Diddy has always tried to act like he's so tough. Okay, even when he wasn't. Now, I don't know how anybody didn't know that Diddy was zesty back then, because let's go to this footage. Now, it is clear to me that Diddy was zesty in this interview. Okay, I don't know how anyone ever missed it. Please pay attention. Please pay attention. Diddy should go down in history as the first gay rapper. I'm serious.
Right for you. I mean, you've got.
Hold on. Y'all see Diddy? Take a good look at Diddy right there.
Yeah. And the future.
Take a good look at Diddy right there. Now, Diddy doesn't look the least bit zesty. I'm sorry, he absolutely does. And with that all being said, that was part of the agenda, because here's what I think happened. Now, mind you, hold on, let me put an overlay up here real quick.
And the future seems bright for you. I mean, you've got so much stuff going on, but how do you exactly get started on the future? Like when you leave here today, can you just go back and start the business, or do you just want to think a little bit?
I mean, to me, it doesn't feel bright, and that's just honestly speaking. It just, as you were saying before, just trying to make sense out of it. You know what I'm saying? You can't get to no brightness until, like, it's just so hard trying to make.
Now, y'all heard Diddy's voice. Okay, you all heard his voice. At the end of the day, he was full of zest, okay? And so with that all being said, that's the culture that he brought to hip hop. Okay, now we're going to get into this letter. Okay, we're going to get into this letter, the whole agenda that they had for hip hop. And see, I think that when they did what they did, trying to make it all gangster, trying to make it all about killing and calling women bees and hoes and all of those things, well, you know, a lot of people saw these men as masculine, you know, always talking about gang banging and all of this stuff. They sounded so masculine that they said, we got to water this stuff down, okay? We got to effeminize these men. And so that's where Diddy comes in. But let's get into the letter. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance. Now, this is the same letter, like I told you all, that came out April 24th of 2012, the same letter that I think it was Crazy Bone that read it, okay? And it was anonymously sent. Hello. After more than 20 years, I finally decided to tell the world what I witnessed in 1991, which I believe was one of the biggest turning points in popular music and ultimately American society. I have struggled for a long time weighing the pros and cons of making this story public, as I was reluctant to implicate the individuals who were present that day. So I've simply decided to leave out names and all of the details that may risk my personal well-being and that of those who were there, like me, dragged into something they weren't ready for. Between the late 1980s and the early 90s, I was what you would call a decision maker with one of the more established companies in the music industry. I came from Europe in the early 80s and quickly established myself in the business. The industry was different back then. Since technology and media weren't accessible to people like they are today, the industry had more control over the public and had the means to influence them any way it wanted. Now, this may explain why in early 1991, I was invited to attend a closed-door meeting with a small group of music business insiders to discuss rap music's new direction. Little did I know that we would be asked to participate in one of the most unethical and destructive business practices I've ever seen. The meeting was held at a private residence on the outskirts of Los Angeles. I remember about 25 to 30 people being there, most of them familiar faces. Speaking to those I knew, we joked about the theme of the meeting, as many of us did not care for rap music and failed to see the purpose of being invited to a private gathering to discuss its future. Among the attendees was a small group of unfamiliar faces who stayed to themselves and made no attempt to socialize beyond their circle. Based on their behavior and formal appearances, they didn't seem to be in our industry. Our casual chatter was interrupted when we were asked to sign a confidentiality agreement, preventing us from publicly discussing the information presented during the meeting. Needless to say, this intrigued and in some cases disturbed many of us. The agreement was only a page long, but very clear on the matter and consequences, which stated that violating the terms would result in job termination. We asked several people what this meeting was about and the reason for such secrecy, but I couldn't find anyone who had answers for us. A few people refused to sign and they got up and walked out. No one stopped them. I was tempted to follow, but curiosity got the best of me. A man who was part of the unfamiliar group collected the agreements from us. Quickly after the meeting began, one of my industry colleagues, who shall remain nameless like everyone else, thanked us for attending. He then gave the floor to a man who only introduced himself by first name and gave no further details about his personal background. Now, I think he was the owner of the residence, but it was never confirmed. He briefly praised all of us for the success that we had achieved in our industry and congratulated us for being selected as part of this small group of decision makers. Now, at this point, I began to feel slightly uncomfortable at the strangeness of this gathering. The subject quickly changed as the speaker went on to tell us that the respective companies we represented had invested in a very profitable industry, which could become even more rewarding with our active involvement. Now, he explained that the companies we worked for had invested millions into the building of privately owned prisons, and that our positions of influence in the music industry would actually impact the profitability of these investments. I remember many of us in the group immediately started looking at each other in confusion. At the time, I didn't know what a private prison was, but I wasn't the only one. Sure enough, someone asked what these private prisons were and what any of this had to do with us. We were told that these prisons were built by privately owned companies who received funding from the government based on the number of inmates. The more inmates, the more money the government would pay these prisons. It was also made clear to us that since these prisons are privately owned, as they become publicly traded, we'd be able to buy shares. Most of us were taken aback by this. Again, a couple of people asked what this had to do with us. Now, at this point, my industry colleague, who had first opened the meeting, took the floor again and answered our questions. He told us that since our employers had become silent investors in this prison business, it was now in their interest to make sure that these prisons remained full. Our job would be to help make this happen by marketing music which promotes criminal behavior, rap being the music of choice. Now, he assured us that this would be a great situation for us because rap music was becoming an increasingly profitable market for our companies, and as employees, we'd also be able to buy personal stocks in these prisons. Immediately, silence came over the room. You could have heard a pin drop. I remember looking around to make sure I wasn't dreaming and saw half of the people with dropped jaws. My daze was interrupted when someone shouted, "Is this an effing joke?" At this point, things became chaotic. Two of the men who were part of the unfamiliar group grabbed the man who shouted out and attempted to remove him from the house. A few of us, myself included, tried to intervene. One of them pulled out a gun and we all backed off. Now, they removed him from the house. A few of us, they separated us from the crowd, and all four of us were escorted outside. Now, my industry colleague who had opened the meeting earlier hurried out to meet us and reminded us that we had signed an agreement and would suffer the consequences of speaking about it publicly or even with those who attended the meeting. I asked him why he was involved with something this corrupt, and he replied that it was bigger than the music business and it was nothing we'd want to challenge without risking consequences. We all protested as he walked back into the house. I remember word for word the last thing he said. "It's out of my hands now. Remember, you signed an agreement." He then closed the door behind him. The men rushed us to our cars and actually watched until we drove off. A million things were going through my mind as I drove away, and I eventually decided to pull over and park on a side street in order to collect my thoughts. I replayed everything in my mind repeatedly, and it all seemed very surreal to me. I was angry with myself for not having taken a more active role in questioning what had been presented to us. I'd like to believe the shock of it all is what suspended my better nature. After what seemed like an eternity, I was able to calm myself enough to make it home. I didn't talk or call anyone that night. The next day, back at the office, I was visibly out of it, but blamed it on being under the weather. No one else in my department had been invited to the meeting, and I felt a sense of guilt for not being able to share what I had witnessed. I thought about contacting the 3 others who were kicked out of the meeting, but I didn't remember their names, and I thought that tracking them down would probably bring unwanted attention. I considered speaking out publicly at the risk of losing my job, but I realized I'd probably be jeopardizing more than my job, and I wasn't willing to risk anything happening to my family. I thought about those men with guns and wondered who they were. I had been told that this was bigger than the music business, and all I could do was let my imagination run free. There were no answers and no one to talk to. I tried to do a little bit of research on private prisons, but didn't uncover anything about the music business's involvement. However, the information I did find confirmed how dangerous this prison business really was. Days turned into weeks and weeks turned into months. Eventually, it was as if the meeting had never taken place. It all seemed surreal. I became more reclusive and stopped going to any industry events unless professionally obligated to do so. On 2 occasions, I found myself attending the same function as my former colleague. Both times our eyes met, but nothing more was exchanged. As the months passed, rap music had definitely changed direction. I was never a fan of it, but even I could tell the difference. Rap acts talked about politics The rap acts that talked about politics or harmless fun were quickly fading away as gangster rap started dominating the airwaves. Only a few months had passed since the meeting, but I suspect that the ideas presented that day had been successfully implemented. It was as if the order had been given to all major label executives. The music was climbing the charts, and most companies were more than happy to capitalize on it. Each one was churning out their very own gangster rap acts on an assembly line. Everyone bought into it, consumers included. Violence and drug use became a central theme in most rap music. I spoke to a few of my peers in the industry to get their opinions on the new trend, but was told repeatedly that it was all about supply and demand. Sadly, many of them even expressed that the music reinforced their prejudices against minorities. I officially quit the music business in 1993, but my heart had already left months before. I broke ties with the majority of my peers and removed myself from this thing that I had once loved. I took some time off, returned to Europe for a few years, settled out of state, and lived a quiet life away from the world of entertainment. And as the years passed, I managed to keep my secret, fearful of sharing it with the wrong person, but also a little ashamed of not having had the balls to blow the whistle. But as rap got worse, my guilt grew. Fortunately, in the late 1990s, having the internet as a resource, which wasn't at my disposal in the earlier days, made it easier for me to investigate what is now labeled the prison industrial complex. Now that I have a greater understanding of how private prisons operate, things make much more sense than they ever have. I see how the criminalization of rap music played a big part in promoting racial stereotypes and misguided so many impressionable young minds into adopting these glorified criminal behaviors, which often led to incarceration. 20 years of guilt is a very heavy load to carry, but the least I can do now is to share my story, hoping that fans of rap music realize how they've been used for the past 2 decades. Although I plan on remaining anonymous for obvious reasons, my goal now is to get this information out to as many people as possible. Please help me to spread the word. Hopefully others who attended the meeting back in 1991 will be inspired by this and tell their own stories. Most importantly, if only one life has been touched by my story, I pray it makes the weight of my guilt a little bit more tolerable. Thank you. Now I want you all to pay attention. I want you all to pay attention because at the end of the day, there was a concerted effort to make rap music criminalized, of course, as we heard in the letter. But when all of that started happening and everybody's going around talking about guns and violence and, doing illegal substances and calling women out of their names and all of these things, well, that made a lot of these rappers, they got a lot of attention, of course, and they looked like they were gangsters, like they were big and bad, okay, like they were very masculine. And of course, that's not what certain people want them to look like. So then here comes Diddy. Fast forward, okay? Now Diddy starts bringing this zesty stuff. Let's not forget the things that he was doing when the guy pulled down his pants and that picture was taken and Wendy Williams got fired for mentioning it. Okay, he got her fired. And at the end of the day, these people who invested in these private prisons, well, of course, this was all due to greed. But this was a very methodical and a very nefarious plan because who thinks of this? Okay, who thinks of this? But it just goes to show that what they knew, the people who implemented this plan, what they knew is that music is casting spells. Okay, just like I've told you guys before in the video I did about words having power and how we cast spells with words, music is even more powerful than simply saying a spell. Okay, simply saying an incantation at the end of the day, because here's what Michael Jackson had to say about it. Likes up, everyone, please like and share.
Singers, when they sing songs, it's like a mantra. When you repeat a chorus over and over and over. So when a kid hears a song and he starts singing that chorus over and over and over, then you start to hear it in the alpha state, into the subconscious mind. So you start to become the song or become what you're saying.
You start to become what you're saying. This is all very true. For those of you who follow the spiritual channel, you know that I've told you that words and thoughts are electromagnetic frequencies. And the thoughts that you think absolutely become a reality. And the words that you say, absolutely, you can cast spells with them. Now think about the word music and look at the word magic. Okay, those words are similar. Also, musician and magician, very similar. Okay, pay attention to that because you're absolutely casting words or casting spells with words. And when you do this music and you listen to it over and over and over, it is a mantra. And what are you doing? You're putting this out there into the universe. Okay, you're speaking this into existence. And remember what I told you all last week, that in the Bible, when it says the power of life and death is in the tongue, right? Now, that's not just the words you say, it's the energy that you're putting out. It's the power. Okay, power is energy. So with that all being said, people speak death upon themselves. Now think about Biggie Smalls. He did the album Life After Death. Okay, and then he died. Okay, think about Diddy specifically. Diddy had the song lyrics that 50 Cent wrote for him, talking about tell the feds, the DA to come and get me. And all of that stuff, he spoke these things into existence. So what they knew back then is that when you're speaking positive things, okay, this is empowering Black people. Okay, this is giving them, this is keeping them in a positive state of mind. But they also knew that if you start saying things about guns and violence, that they're going to buy into this because that'll be programmed into their subconsciousness. And the younger kids who are listening to this will also be programmed into their subconsciousness. So now fast forward, after all of this is gangster music is going on, and these Black men are looking like they're so, have so much bravado, and they're so tough and so masculine. Well, that's not what they ever wanted. When you think back to slavery, they used to make the slave boys wear dresses. They turned the men into eunuchs. So there's always been a concerted effort to make Black men feminine, okay, and to make the Black woman masculine. Okay, and even more masculine than the men. So this is how they got Diddy to come out there with that zesty stuff. And Diddy has worn a kilt. Okay, he's worn a wig. He's worn lace. He was out there hugging on men. I mean, not hugging them like in a friendly manner, saying zesty things to them. So with that all being said, Diddy was behind the social engineering of hip hop. He's the one who brought all of this stuff to where it is right now. And at the same time that he was doing all of this, he was trying to also, keep his masculinity. That's why he was always getting into fights. That's why he's always putting hands on people and acting a whole fool. Okay? Self-taught artist said, a freak show. Pretty much. Okay. So Toure says black nail polish and purses. Exactly. Now you have these rappers like Lil Uzi Vert acting all feminine. You all saw the picture I posted of Quavo yesterday. Okay. So this is now just where it has come to. And it just goes to show that all they have to do is keep showing us the same thing over and over and over. And then it becomes programmed into your subconscious mind. And those of you who follow the spiritual channel also know that the subconscious mind controls 95% of our actions and our thoughts. Okay? So when you're seeing something, just think about, like I told you before, if you listen to a song and you don't like the song, and then you keep hearing it over and over and over, now all of a sudden you find yourself singing the lyrics. It's like you've been hypnotized, put into a trance. Okay, that's because it's programmed into your subconscious mind. And that's what they did with all of these things, with the hip hop, with the gangster rap, and with all of this stuff that Diddy has now brought forward. Now, here's the thing. Now it seems like almost all of these black men involved in hip hop are zesty on the low. Now, I'm not saying all of them, but many of them are zesty on the low. Let's not forget Jonathan Oddie. He talked about Diddy, Rick Ross, DJ Khaled. Okay, Jonathan Hay, Rihanna's former publicist, says that Jay-Z is bi. Now, he didn't say it was alleged. I'm going to say it's alleged because I don't know. But when he was talking about it, he said, no, this is not alleged. He is. Okay? And so maybe he wouldn't know because he worked closely with Jay-Z at some point. But at the end of the day, this is why you see all of these effeminized men in the rap industry. Okay, Diddy was used as a tool to promote this. And now all of this stuff that Diddy was doing for the elite, the people who were over him, his mentors and all of that, he did those same things to other people at the end of the day. Okay, and this is why he absolutely had no problem stiffing people out of their money, ripping them off for their publishing. He had no problem doing that because he knew that he was protected by the powerful elite as long as he continued to push their narrative. And that's what he was doing all along. But now you can see that they've all turned on him. Let's go to Freddy P and what he had to say about Diddy recently. Lights up, everyone. Please like and share.
My thing with Puffy is you fucked up. Your ego fucking you up because, for one, let me tell you some real shit, Puff. You tried to offer a judge $50 million, right? Bro, you could have spent, you're going to wind up spending $150 million. You're going to lose so much behind this one. You could have took $150 million and shut everybody up. You could have silenced me. I wouldn't even been on this platform right now, kicking you in your ass. You could have even silenced me. You could have did right by this. You know what I'm saying? I'm on here because you did me wrong, and I'm on your ass, nigga. I'm not going to stop. I want the world to see the real you. But had you did right by me, I wouldn't have had this energy. And had you did right by a lot of them people that's suing you, they wouldn't have had that energy. You could have took less than what you're going to spend on this trial and walked away with your brand. But your ego he's so, y'all don't know him. He can't lose. He don't want to, admitting he wrong is losing. You get what I'm saying? So bad to the point that this fool finna get on a fucking stand. Any lawyer with sense will tell you, don't get your dumb ass on the stand. Puff, don't fucking do it. There's nothing you could convince these people of. You already guilty in the public opinion, brother. Take the best plea you could get. Try to come home to your kids. You finna sit here and go to trial. You know what that means? Mandatory sentence. Don't play with these white folks, brother. Sometimes you gotta know when the game over, my nigga. Like, okay, it's time. I can't, all right. Because what you finna do now is you finna take a situation and turn it from an ounce of prevention to a pound of cure. That's what you're going through right now. If you took that ounce of prevention, spent maybe 80 million to get everybody silenced, then it would have prevented a pound of cure. Now you got to spend more. Now you got to spend more on a solution. If I could just fight you one-on-one, I'll do it. We can get in the room, square away. You cut me a little check while we walk away. I'm good, bro. I shut my mouth, nigga. I don't got nothing. But you ain't do right by me and my family. Every time somebody be like, man, but his kids, they be like, man, fuck them kids. I be like, I can't say fuck the kids. You know what I'm saying? But they be like, he said fuck yours. And then that shit hit me. I like, damn. I can't be defending the nigga either, you know what I'm saying? So that's the situation. That's where you got everybody at right now, dude. Like, and I'm just want to tell you, bro, don't get on that motherfucking stand, bro.
Oh, he's going to take the stand. They can't talk him out of it. Diddy's such a narcissist, and he's also a sociopath. Okay, and he thinks he's the smartest person in any room that he's in. His lawyers cannot keep him from getting on that stand. I guarantee you. Now, like Freddy P said, anybody with sense would not get on the stand. Specifically, if you're lying about things, and we all know Diddy's going to lie about some stuff. Okay, all of these people cannot be lying. I don't think. With that all being said, let's go to this video, this interview that Diddy did with Toure when Toure asked him about his father. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance. I'm going to put an overlay on here. Hold on, beloveds. Okay, here we go.
Can we talk about your dad? I mean, because that's the other big death that impacts your life. You didn't know him that well, and then you find out that he was a big Harlem hustler, worked for Frank Lucas, one of the legendary Harlem hustlers.
Yeah, no, my father never worked for Frank Lucas. Like, they had their own individual crews.
Okay.
He didn't work for Nicky Barnes. The only person that was, bigger than them, or as big as them was my father. And now that's not something I glorify or proud of.
But he was in Harlem.
I mean, he was in Harlem, and he was doing his thing, selling narcotics, and we all know what that gets you. That's only going to have you end up in jail or dead. But it is the reason why, I didn't follow in those footsteps, because.
But you are like him.
Yeah, I'm definitely like him, but I'm just doing it in a legal way.
How did you find out who he really was? Because your mother was not telling you.
Yeah, my mother wasn't telling me. I found out, this before the internet, and I had looked up my father's name, and I saw an article about my mother wearing a full-length chinchilla to a funeral and taking me, and I was in a mink, and that was like the story of just the glamour and like the decadence of our family, and just how he was the kingpin, of Harlem, and how he had got assassinated. I understood why my mother didn't tell me the truth, because where I was living, I would have probably been one of the biggest drug dealers out there, because I would have, the type of person I am, I would have wanted to follow in my father's footsteps.
Do you think that people really know you?
No, people don't really know me, and that's by design.
Who is this person, the Sean Combs, that we don't know?
We have yet to find out.
Right.
You have to come along for the ride. You have to come. I mean, that's the whole part of the journey. That's the whole part of entertainment. I mean, you don't rock with a brother for like going on 20 years and stop now. You got to see this movie all the way through, baby. Believe me, I got an action-packed ending for you.
Okay, so with that all being said, here's the thing. Diddy was never a tough guy. As I told you before, he was not a tough guy. Grew up in a middle-class family, okay? And then, like I said, he was trying to cover for his zestiness. He was trying to act big and bad. And then eventually he became big and bad. Now people are literally scared of Diddy, okay? And that's because of all the power he's gained from bursting people's chakras and absorbing their energy and their power, okay? Now people are literally afraid of him. So he has become what he once emulated, okay? Please pay attention. With that all being said, it is absolutely obvious. Hold on. It's absolutely obvious to me that Diddy is behind all of the stuff that's going on in hip hop right now. Okay, at the end of the day. Now let me show just one more video, because this is the video, and I've shown you all this before. This is where Toure talks about how he got his he asked Diddy to give his
I was personally
to give his family member an internship, and how that all went left because Diddy wanted to burst the young man's chakra. Okay, please pay
disturbed
attention.
many.
Now I'm going to put an overlay on this. He wanted to burst the young man's chakra, and so it all went left real quick.
I was personally disturbed many years ago. Okay, I know this man well enough to call him and say, hey, I need a favor.
Yeah.
And this might have been 10, 12 years ago that I called him and say, hey, I have a family member who I want you to hire them as an intern.
Yeah.
And I have never talked about this publicly. And he said yes. And they were flying around, one of the interns, Atlanta, Miami, whatever, on the jet, in the house, whatever. And then the internship stopped abruptly, like 3 or 4 months into it.
Yeah.
And I spoke to my family member, like, well, what happened? And they wouldn't say.
Yeah.
And I'm like, why did it end? He wouldn't say. And years later, they finally came out, and this is a male, and said that Puff had said, come home, stay the night with me, or the internship is over. And they said, absolutely not. He said, absolutely not. And the internship ended. But from there, I was like, oh, like this is how it goes. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So to hear that things went even further with potentially, allegedly, many other people, it's not, I don't, we feel like we've seen this coming.
You see, here's the thing. Diddy now has to feed those demons, okay? He has to feed those demons because once he gets started, first of all, he likely has a legion of demons, like I told you guys, from all of the stuff that he's been engaging in, these rituals, okay, doing voodoo, invoking these entities and becoming possessed with them during the rituals to Bacchus and all of this stuff. He's been dabbling in the dark arts. He's consumed by these demons that he holds, and he has to feed these demons, okay? And so that's why he was likely a serial rapist, okay? Because he had this urge. He couldn't stop himself. I don't think it's like a person who's a serial killer, okay? At the end of the day, they have to have it. They can't stop themselves. It's like an addiction. And I think that's what it was with Diddy, with all of the stuff that he was doing to people, because he had to feed those demons. That he was consumed by them, okay? And I only wonder what he's going through now sitting in that jail cell. All right. So anyway, with that all being said, everyone, please like and share, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Be sure to click that notification bell and click the word all so you're notified each time Queen Goddess goes live. Okay, so we're going to be live right back on this channel right after this. The live starts at 11:20. We're going to be talking about Kamala and Trump and Kamala's sister. Okay, and so please pay attention. With that all being said, I love you all to life. Okay, each one teach one. That's how we grow and thrive. Do something productive, constructive, but never destructive. And always remember, beloveds, to keep the Most High first in your lives. Peace.
Hey, yo, Nick, hit him with that flavor. Gold all in my skin, God all in my blood. Kings all in my circle, you touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen, why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther, shed blood like Kunsa. You ain't helping my people, I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I want all the smoke like hookah. Talking reparations, America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the hottest right now. That's See right. A bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all at Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy. I just sit back and laugh while these haters get madder. So nefarious how they don't want my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threats. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I do not play by my piece, this time I'm playing for keeps. You talking slick, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood. Kings all in my circle, you You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen. Why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle? You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen. Why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got